I think it was best that
We also want to remember Mr. Charles Daniels, who was our district-wide computer tech. Mr. William Marinan, who was a paraeducator at Bungie School. And Mr. John McGinn, who was a long-term volunteer for the Seymour schools. So we'll just take a moment. Thank you. Is there anybody who wants to comment? So we'll just introduce the board members and then we'll move on to agenda item 2, communications. So I'm Kristen Bernard, the vice chair of the Board of Ed.
James Garofalo, board member.
Shannon Levy, board member.
For Susan Compton, Superintendent, our board chair and board secretary is attending a Board of Finance meeting tonight at 7 o'clock.
Leanne Doherty, board clerk.
Caitlin Hamilton, junior representative.
Lorraine Escalay, board member.
Ed Jamal, board member. G. Hackett, board member.
Okay, so we can start with our Seymour champion recognitions, beginning with Bungay School.
Good evening. For Bungay School, we have 2 nominations for our noble character. So we're very proud to introduce these students and the nominating teachers. So the first person I'm going to invite up is Jack Hansen to come up to be recognized. So Mr. Cummings nominated Jack for noble for his outstanding character, and I'm going to let Mr. Cummings speak about Jack.
Jack Hansen is a true Seymour champion. He exemplifies all of the traits listed for the Seymour champion. For this month and all year, Jack showed that he is noble by demonstrating fine personal qualities in and out of the classroom. He has high moral principles, which has been evident throughout the school year with his interactions with his peers and adults, along with his effort with his schoolwork. He's very unselfish and is always willing to help or share, follows all rules, lives up to our classroom motto, respect, effort, responsible, independent and positive. He's demonstrated all of these traits throughout the year and has done so while being humble. This is another fine trait of his. Jack has shown that he is empathetic towards others and makes great decisions too. He is most deserving of this award as he is a true Seymour champion. Keep it up, Jack. I would like to say something else. That's something I wrote, but deep down, what a welcome addition to the town of Seymour this young man is, and his entire family as well. He really is what I've been teaching here for 21 years. He and his family are what I like to see come to this town, and what I like to see help build this community, because they are wonderful people. I see the traits that he gets from his family that he brings into the class. His father was so willing to come in. We do a Veterans Day program. He is currently active in the armed forces, and he came to our class. My class interviewed him. His mom came back to help substitute teach in town. I mean, they're all in here, and this is like a wonderful thing, and I'm so proud of him, and he is so deserving.
Family can come up for pictures. Heroic's going to be the photographer tonight, and then somebody's going to sub for you whenever you're
Come on
ready.
up, Mom. I have a sister. And Dad, too. Oh, and another sister. Oh, we're lucky to still get one more. And our next nomination is in 3rd grade, Michael Bukaris. Please come up to be recognized. So Michael was nominated by Mrs. Knutson as well for being noble for his outstanding character in the classroom, working with peers and his academics.
I nominated Michael Bukaris because he continues to amaze me. Not only is he a hard worker, but he's also academically advanced. He's a kind friend as well. He's always helpful and goes above and beyond to include others and produce work with quality in mind. When I praised him for his progress on both math, reading, and math, I asked him, what's Mom going to do to celebrate? And his reply amazed me. He said, nothing. I'm supposed to do my best every time. He works hard daily to produce work with quality in mind. He shares his knowledge when helping others and motivates others to do their best too. Michael is very patient and understanding of other students' needs and really copes well when there are challenges presented to him. He exemplifies the meaning of not only noble, but of a true entire Seymour champion.
I know Dad is here tonight. Yeah. Dad, do you want to come in?
And Dad just told me that when Grace got nominated, Mom was traveling, and now Mom's traveling.
I guess it's a tradition, though. I can ask him to take a picture, too. All right, you can scoot in next to him.
Cheers.
Congratulations, Michael. Thank you.
Chatfield Presti School, we have 2 honorees tonight for Noble, and our first one is Aned Menges from Mrs. Varelli's 2nd grade classroom, so if Mrs. Varelli could come up also with Aned, come on. And so, you want to read the Bible first? All right. So, Mrs. Varelli believes Annette is a great example of a person who is noble. He arrives at school every day with a smile on his face and always gives his classmates a friendly greeting. He is always eager to help out his friends on the playground or in the classroom, and he works hard to do his best on all assignments. He takes pride in doing well and learning as much as he can, and his work is always neat and completed to the best of his abilities. He treats others well, and even more so, he tells the truth. If he makes a poor choice, he's respectful in speaking with adults. Annette is an important member of both Mrs. Varelli's classroom and the entire CLS school community. Congratulations.
Parents?
First picture.
Come on up. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Our second student nominated for Noble is Braden Sloat. So Braden can come up. And Mrs. Cunningham is his 5th grade teacher. So Mrs. Cunningham is going to present.
All right, Braden is always respectful throughout his days in our classroom in 5th grade at CLS. He is respectful to me, his classroom teacher, his unified arts teacher, custodial, cafeteria staff, his peers, pretty much anybody that Braden comes across in his day. He's always willing to help others and is a good friend to many. Braden is very loyal and honest to his closest group of friends, and he is often chosen by his peers as someone with whom others would like to be partnered. Braden truly knows right from wrong and is a wonderful upstander who not only does the right things, but tries to help others make positive choices as well. Braden has had a wonderful 5th grade year, and we know he'll be a wonderful role model as he moves on to middle school next year. Congratulations, Braden.
Congratulations.
Okay. It's my pleasure to call up William Randall from Seymour Middle School. So William was honored last month for being optimistic for optimism, but he wasn't able to make it, so he's here tonight. Will embodies optimism in every aspect of his academic journey, arriving at class with a contagious smile and a willingness to confront challenges with resilience and determination. His upbeat attitude not only brightens the classroom, but also inspires his peers to approach difficulties with a positive mindset. Will's unwavering optimism fosters a sense of camaraderie amongst his classmates and cultivates an environment where everyone feels supported and encouraged to excel. Through his infectious positivity, Will demonstrates the power of maintaining an optimistic outlook, making a profound impact on our school community. Congratulations.
Come on stage because I didn't have to.
Okay. Just a second.
She's through it. All right, there we go. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right.
From the 7th grade blue team, Natalia Figueroa. Natalia? Natalia exemplifies being noble through her strong moral character and exemplary conduct. Her polite and courteous demeanor reflects her commitment to upholding integrity in all aspects of her life. Natalia consistently demonstrates her noble character by taking pride in her academic endeavors and going above and beyond to excel in her coursework. Her dedication to excellence serves as an inspiration to her peers and showcases her unwavering commitment to noble principles. Congratulations. Can we have the parents? Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
All right.
All right, congratulations. And last but not least, from Seymour Middle School, Jacob Olson. Jacob? I don't see Jacob. Well, Jacob is an outstanding student. He came in second place in our spelling bee, and I'm going to leave it at that because we're going to have him back next week.
TJ, come on down.
Mr. Roy, can you make pictures? And they fund it.
The older they get, the slower they move. I'm just kidding. Mr. Lester, okay, you were nominated by Mrs. Chacon, Steph Chacon, for this recognition, and this is what Mrs. Chacon has to say about you. TJ has truly embraced his high school journey, turning it into a remarkable four-year experience. His exemplary character and relentless commitment to personal growth have set him apart. Engaging in various activities, he has shown resilience and determination, consistently striving to broaden his intellectual horizons and enhance his analytical writing skills. This year, TJ undertook the challenge of Yukon English, initially with modest confidence in his abilities. However, through dedicated effort, he put in the work and absorbed constructive feedback in order to find academic success. His exceptional critical thinking shines through in his thought-provoking discussions on challenging subjects. He conducts every aspect of his life in a noble way, as he is guided by an internal moral compass, which drives his curiosity and character, making him a deserving recipient of this recognition. So is Mr. Kane. Kodak moment? Or you don't even know what Kodak is? You can do whatever you want. All right. Thank you, family. All good? No? Come on up. Come on up. Make it a family affair. Come on. See, your little brother's going to. Good job.
Chatfield Lopresti is a school of distinction.
Yeah. Okay, who has the certificate? Who's the name? Okay.
At this time, I'd like for Mr. Olegna and any of have to come up here at this time. I would like to do a special shout out to Chatfield Lopresti as being selected as one of the schools of distinction for the 2023 school year. This is something that very few schools accomplish, and I'm going to tell you we have ordered a banner, and it will be delivered to Chatfield. And when I take the banner over, then we'll have a celebration with the teachers and administration. But I just want to salute the Chatfield staff, parents and students who've made this happen and all the hard work, Mr. Electman. So I just want to say the staff, it's been incredible. The gains in mathematics was exemplary, and I'm just so proud. There was a team of 5th grade teachers, 4th grade, 3rd grade, but the 5th grade was unbelievable, off the charts, but they all were. And it all starts in kindergarten. It's all of them. It starts in kindergarten all the way to the 5th. So I just want to say congratulations. The banner is going to be lovely. I've seen just a printout, a draft of it, and I'll be bringing it to the school. Maybe some of the board members can join me with the delivery. Okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
I'd like for a very outstanding young educator to come forth. Jake Vallejo, if you would come up. I know you might want to say a few words when I get finished, but parents that are here tonight, just be aware that our staff works very professionally in regards to obtaining higher degrees. I know that all of our principals and assistant principals, Dr. Boyle, everyone really promotes, as well as the Board of Education, in paying some tuition and letting this happen for our teachers to further their education. Tonight, I'm extremely honored as a superintendent. You don't get this opportunity very often. Jake has been accepted to the Masters of Ed Leadership program at Harvard University. This program is going to give him an opportunity that he will be focusing not only in ed leadership, but also be obtaining a certification in principalship and then on to some other certifications. We hope he'll stay there and also complete a doctorate. I'd like to let you also know he's getting ready to complete another master's at Columbia University in curriculum, and you maintained a 3.9. They're very select when it comes to the Harvard School with the College of Ed program. Not very many people get into this select graduate program. And Jake, we're so proud of you. We worked so hard. I'm very honored, too, that Jim is going to be presenting this to you. It's very special because he happens to be your grandfather. But is there something you'd like to say to the audience and to the Board of Ed? This has been a journey. We never gave up. I said you're going to get there.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you, to everybody in the Seymour Public Schools. I grew up here. I went through the school system. I was lucky enough to get a job here as well. And, all of my teachers that I had who taught me in high school, middle school, elementary, they've all been fantastic mentors, not only as a student, but as an educator as well. And so without the Seymour Public Schools, I would not have been able to reach this accomplishment.
And I told you never give up, and you got that acceptance letter.
I did. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Freud, could you come over, and also Paul Lucky, been a part of this team?
He wasn't this big when he graduated.
I know.
Swimmer shoulders.
Yeah. Don't forget Seymour.
Never.
Are your parents here tonight? Yeah. Come over here.
There you go.
Good to see you again. Good picture. Thank you. We spent a lot of time together.
So our CLS Student Ambassador Program is intended on focusing in growing leadership skills in our grade 4 and 5 students who apply and are selected by our Safe School Climate team. And so they are responsible as acting as a link between the school and visiting, whether it's visiting groups or assisting at kindergarten orientation or at concerts or moving up ceremonies. And they planned all of last week's Spirit Week at CLS. So giving them lots of opportunities to help leave their mark. Part of the application process is being dedicated to making CLS a better place. And so if I could have all the ambassadors come up at this time. They were selected out of over 50 applicants this year from grade 4 and 5 students. Big undertaking, big process. We're very proud of all of them. And so first, before we read off their names, just a nice round of applause for all of them as a collective group. Frank Adams, Eileen Arslan, Ariana Bordenaro, Nora Crudo, Dahlia Demand, Camden Kelly, Liana Lopez, Mackenzie Miller, Vivian Motregi, Miles Scott, Penelope Siaka, and Jade Spillane. Congratulations to all of them.
Penelope, Miles, Vivian, Mackenzie Miller, Liana, Cam, Dahlia, Nora, Jane, and then Frank.
Okay, now let's do a group of 2, double up here so we can get a picture. Some of you get in the front, shorter ones, over here. Here. Thank you. Right there. All right, now, look that way. Straight this way. Get over here. Oh, maybe. Thank you. All right, move in closer together. You're good. Smile.
Nice big smiles, guys.
Very proud. Quite an honor. The parents of these students, will you just stand up? I want to say thank you. Sure. You're a parent of an ambassador, stand up. Thank you for being here.
Next, we will move on to public comment. I'm just going to read this statement about public comment.
It provides the opportunity for the public to make a comment. It's not a dialogue between the board and the public. Based on what is heard during public comment, the board may choose to add a topic to the agenda. If questions are posed that the chairperson is able to answer, those questions may be addressed under the chairperson's comments portion of the agenda. The board will not discuss personnel matters. Comments should be respectful and no longer than 3 minutes in length so that all who wish to comment may have the opportunity to do so. All the public wanting to comment will need to state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the board. Are there any members of the public that wish to comment? Are there any members of the public that wish to comment? Thank you.
Seymour, I just want to say thank you to the Board of Ed. I know that this year with our budget, it was very daunting, very consuming for all of us. You know, it's unfortunate that, you know, we didn't get the vote turnout that we were hoping for, but I just wanted to say thank you because I know a couple of the chair members helped educate me along with the process. You know, we're very informative outside the meetings and very honest with
what it looked like, what the process was, and I think because of that, I myself, along with some of my friends, were able to be a little bit more active this year in that referendum, and I hope that that can continue to grow. So I just want to say thank you for your efforts in coming, above and beyond and attending some of those meetings. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your dedicated service.
Privilege to reply to that, and it is disappointing that the school budget was not passed. There was less than 10% of the voting public that turned out to vote at the referendum. We cannot move forward without the support of the community. The Board of Finance right now is meeting. That's why we have some board members that aren't there to determine what figure will be cut from our school budget to go to the next referendum. It's up to this board to determine what exactly line items that will represent. So just for members of the public that are here and folks that are listening, please be active. Our town charter calls for the taxpayers to have a say through the referendum process. So I believe the next referendum is set for the 16th, Thursday the 16th. So please mark that on your calendars. Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Going once, going twice. That is the end of public comment. You can take a brief recess before we go on with the student report. So you're welcome to stay through the whole meeting, but if kids have to get home to bed or high schoolers need to get home for homework,
Okay, we're going to get ready to get started. She's ready to roll.
The prom just happened last Saturday at the AquaTurf. Everybody had an amazing time as always, and photos are posted through the Connecticut Post along with the newsletter Mr. Freud sends out. AP testing just started today actually with AP Government and AP Chem. Thank God that's over. This will continue all through this week and next week, though I believe it ends on Wednesday for our school. The newspaper, The Paw-Print, has been working to put out one final issue that will come out in late May to early June. We're picking our upcoming editor, our copy editor for next year, next Monday, I believe. And then also, we just wrapped up our meetings with the Bungay Buzz, and we'll now be working to putting together the final paper, which includes writing for the Buzz and Paw-Print journalists, which we interview high schoolers interview fifth graders, and the fifth graders interview the high schoolers, so those will be put side by side. And then for the Kindercats, they're wrapping up their visits this month. On May 1st, the seniors had their last visit with Miss Houston's class. They worked on a math activity, checked out the growth of the flowers they planted as seeds, which grew amazingly well, and then got to play on the playground. The last visit with Miss Floyd's class will be on May 15th. A letter will go home to the kindergarten parents, inviting the kindergarten students to attend the procession with the seniors at graduation. And the seniors are also hoping to attend the kindergartners moving up ceremony, which is later this month. As for student council, we've had a successful powder puff game with good attendance from friends and family filling up the stands. Along with that came a good amount of food donations, so they'll be dropping them off this Friday. Hope Club students painted kindness rocks and placed them outside around the school. Hope Club also has had the Be Kind Yard signs printed and will be distributing them at schools later this week in Town Hall as well. I'm pretty sure it's already outside of the high school. And then small tokens of appreciation will be put together for the teachers and staff by club members for student appreciation week, for teacher appreciation week. And the Spanish club is planning a Zumba class on May 18th at 11 at the SHS gym to raise funds for their Spanish trip. Performing Arts had their yearly show in March and school assembly in April. The members are excited to start recording in the upcoming music studio, which is currently being built at the high school. Environmental Club, we gave out stickers with temporary tattoos on Earth Day, and then Earth Day posters were also created to help raise environmental literacy and continue to raise environmental awareness. The club's also planning a campus cleanup for the high school on June 10th after exams, so that everything's all nice and pretty for the graduation ceremonies, and just make sure everything's free of litter and trash. And then the Debate Club, congratulations to Alyssa Brigatti and Anura Shah, who were trophied at the Connecticut Book Debate Association State Tournament, Varsity and Novice Divisions, held at Joe Barrel High School on Saturday, March 23rd. The sophomore team ranked 5th out of 37 qualifying novice teams at the conclusion of the state tournament. In addition to that, Alyssa Brigatti won 5th place novice speaker out of 74 qualifying novice debaters. This earns a trophy for each and a medal for Alyssa. The future is looking bright for Seymour School Debate. If you're interested in joining the debate club, then you can see Mrs. Scott and the next year debate leaders, Amir Shaw, Alyssa Brigatti, and Ariel Zedek. And then as for sports, baseball is currently 8-8, softball is 13-2, golf 7-1, and tennis is 8-7. Track continues to add qualifiers to both the MBL and state meets. And next week, we'll complete the regular season of play. MBLs will begin on the 18th, with the higher seed being the home game. Track MBLs will be held at Torrington High School. Seymour has been scheduled as the site for the semifinals of the MBL tournament on Monday the 20th. That's all.
Nice job.
Very well done.
And very clear.
Always. The senior awards night, Caitlin, is that, Mr. Floyd, is that May the 23rd or 24th? What?
I believe it is.
Let's try it so we can.
That is the 23rd.
23rd, on a Thursday, right, okay. We will go go over it with the board. Very good.
Okay, we can move on to the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion?
Second. Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. Did you get the motion and the second? Next, we're going to move on to discussion and possible action. Did I have 6-0? I didn't count myself. 6-0.
Yeah, I got that.
Make a motion to approve the
We were going to.
Could we add?
Others going to add items to discussion and possible action. Want to add them now?
seven C, at number 7C. Seymour Middle School RISE program.
Yes. I think it'd be nice for you to hear more discussion about the program. Thank you.
Motion by Jay, seconded by Mr. Stramello. Motion by Mr. Hatfield, seconded by Mr. Stramello. Any discussion on the motion to add? All in favor? 6-0. And then we also wanted to add
Oh, yes, the motion we add the district awards to the agenda.
So that will be item 7D. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor of adding that?
All right.
So item 7A, alternative education program and policies.
Yes, I'd like for the two teachers and the team to come up. It's consisted of our two teachers and also Dr. Boyle and Paul Lucky and Mr. Freud. Everybody's been a part of this. Tonight, we're presenting to you basically the intro and the draft of what this program would consist of. This is something also that we would be sending to CAVE because in this proposal is some policies that are built in. They've done a lot of research, a lot of great work, a lot of time has been put into this, and I want to salute all of you, but specifically our teachers have really done their homework. They've looked at Amity in different places. Some of these policies that are integrated into what we have tonight were similar exemplars from their programs. There are very many schools right now that are doing alternative programs, whether it's an alternative program or an alternative school. There's criteria to be a separate school, and we don't really meet that criteria. We meet the program criteria. I did have conversation today with Dr. Miller, who has an alternative program at Oxford, and he wasn't quite sure how the kids in assessment areas, if they were a separate program, if it can be coded separate. So this is one of the things we're comparing, because most school districts are having them as strictly a separate program or a school, and they're separate from the general kids as far as assessments. This is a program that's built on credit recovery. A lot of work has went into this as far as the entry and the exit and where we're at with it. So I'll be quiet now and let you two lead the charge, okay?
So first off, I just wanted to thank you guys for previously discussing and approving the alternative ed program. We know how beneficial this is going to be for a certain population of students that we definitely currently have at Seymour High School. And those students who will be able to participate in the program.
So as Dr. Compton said, a lot of work has been put into this, but we actually still have a lot to do. So we are really just asking you, you've had the policies given to you in advance. They're not terribly long. I hope you've had time to review them. We're just asking you to approve the policies because once they're approved, we can get to identifying and referring students, observing possible candidate students, interviewing them, meeting with their parents, drawing up any behavior contracts or anything, and actually generating our enrollment for the program so that we can get it going for the 24-25 school year. So that being said, we have the 4 policies we were given. We're not going to go over them. Obviously, you guys have read them, we can't read them. We're just going to sum them up.
Yeah, so just to kind of outline what's in front of you. Sorry.
This is the new speaker.
Yes. And Steve White.
They're both special educators at Seymour High School. Thank you.
So there are 4 separate policies. As Dr. Compton had mentioned, we did kind of review and look around at some of the other districts who have their own alternative programs to pull some information from that. The first policy that you guys received is the lengthiest one out of the 4, I believe. That's the entry and exit to the program. That also outlines, in addition to the procedure for entering and exiting, it goes over the timelines of those procedures and outlines the details of graduating if a student were to graduate from the program. And it goes through those graduation requirements as well in that policy. The second policy is the appeal decisions policy, which again is kind of self-explanatory. It goes through the procedures for appealing decisions related to placement or programming for students in the program. That outlines the timelines, how appeals would be submitted, the review committee that would discuss that, the hearing process, decision, and administrative review.
The third policy is what we call the instructional policy. It really just defines what is alternative education in the state of Connecticut and how are we as a district going to implement it. And the fourth policy is the coordination and collaboration. It's basically talking about how is there going to be oversight, who's in charge of the program, how are we going to collaborate with the high school, who's, how are we going to train people, how are we going to, all the minutia of what's going into it. And again, this program has been approved, and we really, really appreciate the policies being approved so that we can continue to work, because both myself and Ms. Spear, as well as Dr. Boyle and Mr. Lucky, put a lot of time into this, as well as Ms. Spidey, who is not here tonight, all put a lot of work into it, and we really believe in this program. And once you guys approve this, we can really get to, really focus.
It's very important because like even in the graduation, if you'll read that's underage, it kind of spells out exactly about the credits and so forth. They can receive a regular Seymour High School diploma, and they could look at an alternative. But like I said, we're also going to be working with other superintendents and comparing these programs and codes. I've heard that Shelton, for example, is going to do a separate school. When you do a separate school, you got to have a separate building, you got to have a separate administration. Who's going to be over this program is going to be a team. You're looking at 3 of them, plus myself, plus Ms. Feige. It's got to be a team, and the 2 teachers heading it up.
We're bringing it to the policy because statutorily, the Board of Education has to adopt these 4 policies by state law in order to start a program.
Start a program.
So that's why we're presenting you the policies now. We have a month, about a month before school ends, in order to do all of these interview processes, recommendations, parental interviews, observations, in order to get this going. So this is really the time that the policy would need to be adopted if we're going to have a program next year.
And we'll send this on to CABE and let them look at policies that are relevant and help us develop under alternative. They have a generic alternative ed program policy, CABE does, but they will tweak specific, just like they did for Amity.
I think we referenced that as well.
Yeah, you did.
So, questions?
Go ahead.
Not yet, go ahead. If we did not get these policies from Kate, where did these policies come from?
These basically came from Amity, which came from CABE. It's just,
We looked a lot program and somebody's alternative ed program and a little bit of Oxford's alternative ed program. And we decided the format was Amity, but we took ideas from all of them, as well as ideas from our own personal, like, what do you think the program's going to best benefit the students, like what necessarily needs to be in it for ours, because ours isn't a separate school right now, it's going to be a program.
And most of that was kind of state regulated to like the guidelines on like what has to be done in the structure of the program.
It's very specific from a school versus a program. And I was quizzing Dr. Miller today, and he's trying to find out about the code and his assessments because it's a little unclear, but we'll get to the bottom of what we're allowed to do or not allowed to do and bring that back to you. But like I said, all of the surrounding schools are going this direction and giving kids, it's really also a jump start for credit recovery. And you're going to use Apex as well as what you've spelled out here, so.
There's already over 90 schools in the state of Connecticut.
Yeah.
For alternative schools or programs.
That's a good number.
I also had a question for Dr. Boyle. How does this appeals, there's an appeals process for programming and placement. How does that interact with due process through IDEA?
So we actually have language in there that allows for, this does not absolve anyone of their rights under IDEA. We actually align some of the language to that of IDEA because this program is going to be both students with IEPs and without IEPs, so we're going to keep the process the same regardless of IEPs.
You would do the two process simultaneously, or?
So for the students who are identified who have IEPs, it would fall under their IEPs, and we made the timelines the same, so we utilize those timelines for all of the students in the program, so it's not like we're keeping track of two separate timelines, they'll be aligned, and that would fall under their IEPs.
And the beauty of this program is it's not just special ed students, it's other general students that really need a need for credit recovery and who are just not fitting into the regular general ed program. Right?
I think it's just a minutia question, but usually when we do policies, we have numbers attached. And there's
Yeah.
no numbers
Right.
attached.
Yeah, that's well said.
So I'm wondering how we make a motion if we don't have the numbers attached to that.
Here's what I recommend, that you approve this, and we will send this to CABE, and Ed, you're chair of the policy committee with you and Kristen and Chris. And this is something with these individual things that CABE will help us match, because right now CABE has a generic alternative ed project, policy. But as distinct as they are and as good as they are, they can write and tailor it specifically, and they do have to have numbers and they fall under the series. So right now, these are just bulleted out in regards with the policy, and they'll have to take and we'll have to pull these out and send them on to Kate. We'll send this whole thing, but we'll talk about the policy here they're alluding to.
Well, I'm hearing that there's been a request for us to approve these, but I'm still stuck on the minutia part of it, is how do we make a motion to approve these?
Yeah, Dr. Compton, I suspect, are we looking for a motion to approve the program per se, or are you looking for a motion to send the program to CABE for review?
I'm looking for both. You've approved the program already. We're just looking with these policies that we'll send these policies to CABE. I want you to approve what they have put together here with how they're going to run the program. This is actually the procedures and the protocol with showing that there are certain policy changes, and we can note that, such as graduation and whatever. So Ed, if you will work with me and the board will direct, we will get this sent to CABE to where that specific ones, and they know the specific four we're talking about. And I know Mr. Lucky does specifically. It's just not numbered and it's not under a category, and CABE will help us do that.
To the chair, I think we numbered them, but I'm not positive. I thought we did, so I'm okay with, I kind of looked it up here. It looks like maybe this would be a curriculum extension.
under some of the
It does fall under some
other
curriculum, yes, Joe.
categories, so I would be okay with attaching it, a number, you know, because I did feel some of the same, that Mr. Simoes that I actually was cleaning up, and then I thought I was being nitpicky.
And then
That's
Mr.
right.
Stamello and I also went over when we spent about 2 hours and a half on policies. There is one we just touched, and I just said, this is just a general, generic alternative policy. And that's also where they would add some additional stuff, tweak to our own program.
So if it's if I may through the chair, I would entertain assigning a number to it, and then we could revisit it or edit it later.
Edit it, yeah, with revisions, once they send
It
it.
might be 6178, according to the policies that we have posted on the website. Again, I think we need to really dig in here and get
Yeah.
these edited, but.
Because you said 4 policies.
4.
So it'd be
So technically we need 4 numbers.
So
Yes.
617, sorry, to the chair, 6178.1, .2, .3, and .4.
If I may.
Yes.
Each policy that's proposed today has a provisional title. My suggestion would be if you look to approve it by title instead of number for the purposes of voting.
Well, louder, Chris, please.
Yeah.
Each of the policies has a provisional title attached to it. For voting purposes, instead of referencing by number, I would just suggest to the board to refer to each policy by name.
And then Kay will help us with assigning numbers, like you and Jay have said, and we will get the numbers. And we have to work.
But I'm hearing your request to have it done tonight.
Yes.
But our policy procedures, you know, there's 2 ways we can do it. If we have 7 votes, we can officially approve it tonight, or we can push it to the
Wait.
next meeting and vote on. That's what we.
You normally
So
would
that's
do,
where
yeah.
There's some confusion as how to get this done to expedite what the staff wants to have done.
What I'm gonna ask you is to expedite it, pass it tonight with assurance that we'll be working with CABE. We've got the 4 titles, and that they will help us, and you'll also be working with me in regards about where these are falling in our policies. We've just started the mandate review. We're about to got it finished almost, and this is something that's a priority right now. So we can get this done.
If we approve it tonight, it becomes district policy as is.
Yes. Well, it's a program that has 4 policies in it, and we want to refine it. These policies will be the same. It's just sending it on to CABE with a number and a clarification of helping us. Okay, but these are policies. They're just not numbered.
Program
We can direct.
versus saying policy.
We can direct the superintendent to proceed with the program. We can direct her to engage CABE with the policy.
Policies,
Versus voting for the policy itself.
that way,
That's
because they're embedded in it.
Through the chair, I thought we already voted on.
We voted on the program.
We've already established, or we already took a vote on that. And so now, I think the problem becomes that we're being asked to vote on the specifics of the program, the specifics of the policy in order for them to take action. You know, because as a board, governing body, we have our policies already in place. These policies are initiating changes to that policy.
Yes.
Changes to our procedures. So if we don't take action on these specific policies, they don't have any guidance, they don't have any backbone to be able to implement their program.
Yeah.
So I think that's the crux of this, is that if we don't
It
take
is.
action and we just leave it alone, then they can't really take action on their side, and I think that's what they're asking us.
Take action to approve it and let us work with CABE.
So again, I'm just gonna go back to my original motion, if it's all right with the chair, and we could make revisions to the numbers later if we need to.
Yes,
I
yes.
think in the past, we have done it by number, with all due respect to Boyle. I think if we need to put the titles in later, we could revise that, but I would be more comfortable just putting numbers in there for now, and
let's attach it like that, just so that they could take action. 'Cause again,
That would be better, Joe. Thank you.
Right, so you're making that motion?
I'm making a motion that we approve policies or establish policy 617.81, excuse me, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, and 8.4, Seymour Public School Alternative Education Program.
All right, any discussion?
Who seconded?
You have a second on that?
Yes. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
So we can get it moving forward.
Opposed, I'm gonna oppose because I want things to be in order when we vote on them. So I'm going to oppose. Any abstentions? So it passes 5-1.
So, I just want to check my math though, for the chair, because it is 2/3.
Thirds is needed.
So does that
Is it
constitute?
2/3 of the 9 or 2/3 of who's here?
Well, it's a,
I think it's, does it say present or 2/3 of the board?
So, that's, to suspend those rules, I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
That there should be a first read and then a second read?
You can if you have 2/3 of the board.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, is do we have 2/3 right now? I don't know the answer to that, because we're missing, I guess, if you.
Just who's present?
But I'm saying to suspend the second part of the second read.
Right.
Whatever.
We have to have 2/3 of the.
It's good now, I don't know if it's gonna be possible to make meetings, but we'll just go with it until we get further clarification.
At the risk of sounding unknowledgeable, because I've never really gone through all this stuff before, if the issue is really assigning a number to it, I can't speak for anyone else, but I don't care what number you assign to it.
We've assigned
Yeah, we have
numbers
numbers.
and we've already voted. So the process of approving policies, like Jay is saying, typically it goes through the policy committee. There's a first read by the full board, there's a
Yes.
second read by the full board, and then a vote. And they should be in their finished form when it goes through the reads or adjusted at the table.
That's right, but they've tried to come here tonight with the program, with the policies embedded. They're not policy writers, and I'm just asking you that we move it forward, and then we can get it in the proper numbers and the proper format. It's 2/3 of the majority of the board. I don't know if it's who's sitting at the table with the 2/3, or if it's 2/3 of the entire board.
And through the chair, I agree, I'm trying to push it forward for you. I
Yeah.
just know the second part that Mr. Champagne had said somewhere, that there is a way, a workaround that.
There
I
is.
just don't know what that is.
It's
because I
with the
don't-
2/3, if the 2/3 of the board,
And again,
Yeah.
that's the question.
Yeah, I don't know if
Is
it's
it
a-
of the entire board sitting?
that's the one question right now, I don't know.
I think it has to be the 2/3 of the board that's seated at the table.
Table.
taking the vote.
So then we have to take it over, right?
It's 5-1.
Of
That's
who's
the
here.
second, right? So it's a two-read process and a two-read vote.
No, you just vote once.
Oh, I thought that's what Mr. Chairman.
No, it's just once. If you have 2/3 of the board that are present, and I think it's whoever's sitting at the table, as long as you've got 2/3, because they're at the meeting. And I'm not an attorney. That's what. Okay. It's 2/3. Look it up. Yeah. Can you text Champagne and ask him?
Just go there with it.
Item 7B, tuition rate for out-of-district students, 24-25.
Okay.
I make a motion to set tuition rate for out-of-district students as $14,118.15 for elementary students and $15,260.36 for middle school students and high school students for the 2024-2025 school year. What a long motion.
Is there a second?
All the sense.
Second.
Yeah. Is there a question? It's based upon the percentage, the formula with the total allocation is how Mr. Bucci figures this.
So do we have a policy for out-of-district students attending our schools?
Yes, I mean, it all falls under, residency, and if you're paying tuition, this is the full amount that you would pay.
Just for reference,
Yeah.
policy 3240,
Mhm.
tuition fees.
Right.
So all in favor?
Did we get a second? Yes.
Yes.
All.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Zero. Okay, C, that is the Seymour Middle School RISE program.
Yeah, Mr. Rourke, you want to come up? This is, a lot of work has went into this, and we've had some staff as well. They've got copies of this, see if they don't.
Make sure you guys have the, yes, you do. Perfect. So
Okay, so this is a program in regards, I think you and Karen Studley and counseling and several people have put in a lot of work, especially Studley tonight.
Well, this is, thank you for giving us a chance to talk to you about this program that we're trying to put in place at Seymour Middle School. What we're looking to do essentially is reallocate one of our special ed teachers and the type of caseload that we assign to that teacher to better service students and to create, I guess the best way of putting it is a better opportunity for a certain population of students within our building to be successful throughout their school day at Seymour Middle School. Bungie has the REACH program. What we're looking to replicate at SMS is our version of the REACH program. We're going to call it the RISE program, which stands for Responsive Intervention and Support for Empowerment. The whole idea is that with the support that we're going to be providing to these students, they'll be able to overcome the need to need those supports and be able to be in class with their non-disabled peers at as high a percentage of their school day as possible. We have students that struggle with the supports that we're able to provide them right now because of the structure that we have, the construct that we have, and how we deliver special education services to our population of students. This program will allow us to provide a specific population of students with a higher level of intervention on a needed basis. And that needed basis is determined by the student and determined by what's going on in that specific day for the student. It's a program that, in my old school, we had a program very similar to what we're trying to put in place here. And what I can tell you from experience, having worked in a building with a program like this at the middle school level for 10 years, you were able to see a very high degree of success for the special education students, for the 504 students, and at times general ed students, depending on need, that were placed into this program, sometimes on a basis that lasted the duration of middle school, and sometimes on a temporary basis, with a turnaround where they didn't need the services anymore after a short period of time. One of the impacts of this program that I witnessed living with it in my school was a decrease in disciplinary issues for students that were part of this program, a positive impact on the climate within the entire building,
classroom management improved for teachers that were connected to the students that were in this program, as well as a profound impact on the other caseloads of special ed teachers. See, right now, the students that would be a part of this program at Seymour Middle School, those students are being serviced by one of our 6 case managers in the building. What we're proposing we do is identify one of those 6, and that one teacher services those students across all 3 grade levels, which will make for a much better scenario for the 5 case managers to better manage their students, because the students that have this higher degree of need when it comes to their social and their emotional needs in school are being serviced in a much, more intensive manner as needed on a daily basis by the case manager. So what we're essentially doing is we're reallocating one of our special ed resources so that we can put this program in place, and I have nothing but 100% belief that's going to make a positive difference on the way those students learn and the climate and the culture of the building as well. Mrs. W, our school social worker, is here. It's actually, the timing couldn't be better because she had a lot to do within her previous career at the high school for the program that you just heard about. Now she's here to talk about this program at the middle school.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have a high population of, well, I wouldn't say high, but a decent amount of population of special ed students who have a lot of counseling and social emotional needs. And just being able to have a place that they can go if they need an alternative setting with a specific special ed teacher who's connected to them and knows really how to work with them when they need to come out and not just always go to the counseling department. But they can go there and have somebody who has consistency, that's a teacher that they can connect with, who also is a part of like what's going on in their academic classes and is managing those needs, is really like important and would be very helpful to minimize some of the behavioral and emotional outbursts that are happening with these students throughout the school day. Just that consistency as well as the support and working as a team, you know, and really being able to have the multiple outlets is helpful. We have some students who may need to go there just for some of their sensory items, to be able to have it closer to their classroom and to come all the way up to guidance all the time and just have that connection with the teacher as well. That's pretty much what the basis of this is. Some students may be in there for certain periods. Some students may use it as an alternative setting for when they're having this particularly emotional period or day. And the teacher and the other service staff that will be helping them in that group, in that classroom, I guess. Right? Classroom will have that connection and the knowledge base to really work with them. So it's support staff as well as the teacher.
To the chair, so I appreciate you bringing this, and I really enjoy the fact that you're really trying to be creative in your comprehensive look at students. What can we do to support this? You know, what is it that, I see something like behavior technician. I'm not really sure if I've heard that necessarily in our district. Currently, you know, how do we support you to get this program off the ground? Is it funds? Is it?
Everything that we need to start the program.
We already have.
First day of school, we already have.
We already have behavior technician. We have one here, and we have one at the high school.
So if we have a student in the building, per se, who has a behavior tech as part of that student's IP, we're going to have it in the district. So the students who are going to be part of this program, there's a good likelihood that you might have students in this program that have that need. And if we have that need by law, it'll be part of the IP process, and that's why behavior tech might be part of this program. If we don't have students who have that need, then we wouldn't have the need to have that person. But that specific role is something that we currently have working within our building.
Just as a follow-up to the chair, is that something that we contract out?
Yes.
That
Currently, it is.
Yeah, Dr. Boyle will
Yes,
definitely
with the
help
Connecticut
some of that.
behavioral, you want to tell them?
So currently, we have 2 registered behavior techs in district because of IEP needs. They are outside providers from an outside agency. Both come from Connecticut Behavioral Health. We have one currently at Capital Preston, one at the middle school. So this one person this one we call RBT is already programmed for one particular student, but when we bring our students together, it allows us to pool our resources a little bit better, so we may be able to be creative in the use of that RBT with a number of students instead of just one, so.
So it's budgeted as other professional services?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And potentially eligible for excess
Yes.
cost?
Yeah.
Correct.
And they've worked well. It's been a win-win.
Is there dedicated counseling staff, or if we're going to the model where we have one teacher who is the case manager for this population, are we going to have dedicated counseling social work staff that's connected to this program, or is that caseload
We
going to be
wish,
shared?
but no. Realistically, and in the world and the budget that we live within, the answer to that would be no. You're not going to find an educator anywhere who's in the school right now that's going to say that we don't need more mental health support staff. With that said, many of the students that might wind up in a program like this traditionally in a middle school setting wind up being assigned to either the social worker or the school psychologist. Sometimes the counselor. In our building, we have 470 students. I would say, Mrs. Studley, what's your caseload? I'm going to embarrass you.
It's like 41, yeah.
So Mrs. Studley connects with 40 plus students. And there's and Mrs. Weaver, our school psychologist, her caseload's not quite as high. She does have a caseload, but she's spending a lot of time doing her testing.
Right.
Which wouldn't provide for the caseload that Mrs. Studley has, but
For the
students
most
in this
part,
type of model are probably going to wind up.
And we also have 2
yeah.
full-time counselors.
I mean, the students, for the most part, that would be part of this program, I'm just looking at who we already feel would benefit from it, are students that are receive counseling special ed services, which majority is myself, and then also Ms. Weaver does some of it. So for purposes of this, are we assigned to it? No, but we would be the ones that would be most consistently working with the teachers.
So what I can tell you from experience, having had a program like this in my old school, what a program like this does for the specific students that wind up in the program that fit the profile of this student that really benefit from this program, is it gives them a chance to actually have a productive academic day where they learn. The model that we have right now, when these students, when they have needs that aren't being met, that they struggle, whether it's behaviorally, whether it's acting out academically, whatever the reason might be, the model that we have right now usually almost immediately calls into the mix the social worker, the principal, the assistant principal. And now we're dealing with a disciplinary situation. A program like this, and this is why I feel so strongly that we really need to put something like this in place here, is because a program like this allows those students to not go from not having a need met in the moment directly to discipline, but through an alternate path where there's a good likelihood that with this specific type of the interventions in place that this program has for those students, they could actually rebound and go on to have a productive day for the rest of their day without even winding up having a disciplinary issue. So it's really a program that it speaks to a small percentage of students, but that percentage of students that need the service, that need these types of strategies throughout the course of the school day, we'd be doing a disservice to them to not put this in place. It gives them a chance to be successful on a daily
Well,
basis.
a special ed teacher and the paras and the behaviorists that are involved will also be available to be in their classes and put their time to help service them in the classes, which will just give them that connection to the class and to their ability to support them outside of the class.
Well, it gives them an environment where that they're getting more specific attention and meeting their individual needs better. Some will not stay in there the entire day, some will stay quite a bit. But it really gives them their special place to have more individualized instruction and to meet their needs.
And those decisions will be made through the PPT process.
Yes.
There's,
in here we have
you have the entry
kind of what the
criteria.
entry criteria is and how it would go, including observations and stuff like that.
So I don't know if we need a motion on this because
It's just a part of the, right, it is. You don't need a motion, but I just wanted you to be fully informed about what it is. They've felt very strong about this for a long time. This has been a discussion that's went on for about 6 months. And I think it's worth trying. I think it's really to meet their needs. And I think with some students, it will better serve them. It's worth a try.
Through the chair, I would just like to ask that maybe in a year or so, we do put these programs in place and we don't necessarily, we kind of sense off, we don't hear. So it'd be interesting to hear back in a year or so, what was the positives or what was the outcome? Did we receive, and how could we further support the program if it is successful? What can we do as a board to further push it forward?
That would be great. One thing we'll definitely have, because we have data set for the students that are in the building and that are going to be part of this program. It'd be very interesting to see how they perform academically a year from now, what happens with their discipline. Some
Yeah,
of the
their
students
suspension
that have
rates and all
discipline
that.
issues. So we'll have data, we'll definitely have data. My hope is that it's going to be good data to show it's made a profound effect on
We
those
could
kids.
present it mid-year and then
Yeah.
if there are any further
Maybe, but
Yeah, that's posted. I think with this program and with the alternative program at the high school, we know, we hear you, we know that the needs are increasing and innovation is something that is gonna be important as, as we have these budget times that are frustrating for all of us. So I appreciate both to the high school team and the middle school team, the innovation and the creative thinking.
Thank you. A lot of hours, a lot of times went into this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yep. So moving on to item 7D,
so I just have here.
the district awards. Oh, you can go.
I advocate for my students. That's what
Still be tired from prom.
Yeah, I'm up to have more AK testing.
Okay, yeah, we want to get,
Thank you. Motion,
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the awards committee for the following awards. The David A. Brummer Excellence in Education Award, the John J. Gallagher Memorial Athletic Award, the Vincent Tina Cabeza Excellence in Teaching Award, the Thomas J. Petruni Memorial Education and Environment Award, and the Karen R. Stanek Once a Wildcat, Always a Wildcat Award.
is there a second? Any discussion?
So the other thing I think that would be fair, though, is for the board members to just see who they are. Obviously, we're not announcing the names yet, but, because then you don't feel comfortable, right? That. Yeah.
All right, do we want to pass that around?
Sure.
who
Obviously, I've seen it.
seconded that? Who seconded the motion?
Sorry, my voice is going out tonight.
It was a dedicated committee. We met, how many times, Leanne? 3? Two, well, the second time.
I will say that we,
Ed,
made
you
some
were-
good discussions to make sure that, it going on further, that we understand the awards and what they stand for, because there were some nominations that didn't actually fit that type of award, but we had a good discussion on that. And the committee decided that they'll make sure that next year, that when they go and make, have these things, they'll instruct the people who nominate the different awards, that maybe you should nominate a person for this award, not that award. Because there was, especially the confusion between the Excellence in Education Award and the Excellence in Teaching Award was a
Little confusing,
yeah, a little discussion. I mean, obviously.
how to get it more clarified. I thought the discussion was great.
Yeah, oh, I thought.
The committee worked together really well. You had all different representation.
Yep.
Right, Leanne?
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? Mr. Hatfield abstained, so 501.
Who was the one? Sorry.
Okay, for information, any reports from committees? Are there any members of the Finance Committee that wants to report? Or just all, middle report? The Awards Committee was acted on, Policy Committee.
Unfortunately, we didn't have a quorum. But Dr. Compton and I spent a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
And she was also going to reach out to Mr. Champagne and Ms. Armour to look at something.
Yeah, we're going to send what we covered.
Mandated. Again, I want to go on the record as saying that I was disappointed with Kate's performance providing us their service. I thought that they did a confusing job. Even to the point where they had numbers that were backwards at the top of some of them.
Yeah, we did find 2 policies that were totally
Yeah,
backwards,
and
so
they
it's
reversed
a lot of
numbers
stuff.
that we- And this was a paid service.
A lot of stuff.
So as directors of, area directors of K, Jay and I will make our displeasure known at a directors meeting, because, it was, if we're gonna pay for something, let's do it correctly.
And we're going to continue to work on it. We're about finished up. Ed and I'll do one more session, and then we're going to have a policy committee, and I'll spend time with Kristen, and we will with Chris. But Ed and I really got into in-depth.
Because some of them are so picayune that pops in my mind about the type of food, especially with the food services. Type of food, the type of drink.
Competitive food beverages.
This now, when it can be sold, when,
Yeah.
I know it was, but it seems to me that somebody has a nice job, they can write all these involved policies. And I didn't use the terminology that I wanted to use, of who writes them, I'll be nice.
Just a question, as they begin to come forward for approval, we'll have to follow that process of a first read.
Yes,
and a second read.
we do, and we're ready, like I said, we think for the June meeting, we'll be ready for the first reading, but we've got to, Ed and I have to spend one more session together, as well as I'd like to get, I think Kristen Harmley will be able to come in and meet some evening besides the general committee when they come back together, so
Because
we'll,
obviously, you know,
a lot of stuff.
Part of health is the wellness things too, which are specific as far as recess time and activity and all that kind of stuff. That's, you know, those are mandated policies, and, you know, we have to make sure that we follow those. To lose funding, you know, follow
Yeah.
policy.
Through the chair, maybe it's time to take that second read part out. You know, I think previously the history of it was because the meetings were twice a month, and that was the first meeting of the month, and the second meeting of the month was the adoption, formal adoption. So that's something we could change, you know, if we did it earlier on in the process. That's just a quick bylaw change. I don't think there's anything regulatory.
Right,
for that.
well, and we'll go back and pull where it says with the 2/3, so that y'all can see that. Okay.
All right, anything, any questions for Dr. Boyle on the special education enrollment report? School activities and recognitions and hiring. All right, move on to chairperson's comments and board member comments. I just want to recognize that since the last meeting, it was Paraeducator Appreciation Day. Today is National Teacher Appreciation Day. Last week was Principal Appreciation Day, and Wednesday is School Nurse Appreciation Day. So I want to recognize all of those groups. I was able to tour the schools with Dr. Compton and Mrs. Feige on Friday, and it was very clear. We have a couple schools that are beautiful, state of the art. We have a couple schools that need some updating.
Yeah.
But what really makes our Seymour schools special are the people inside them, from the students to the staff to the leadership, and that really shone on Friday. So thank you.
And a special thank you to Jim and Ed also joining the trio. It was good.
Any board member comments? Start to my left.
I would like to just say job well done to the high school and the middle school for their programs. I really appreciate the hard work that they put in to really help some of our kiddos in need. I also want to piggyback on our comments in the beginning of the meeting about coming out on the 16th for our vote. It's super important. Please come on out.
Mr. Carvalho?
Yes, I would like to thank Dr. Compton for her passionate remarks made earlier this evening. And it was refreshing to hear the superintendent reach down inside and bring out those things that sometimes fester, but things of which we are not necessarily aware.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr.
Agree.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what Ms. Lee said. I encourage parents, grandparents, and all taxpayers to go out and vote for the budget. This country is based on the ability of people being able to express their opinion by voting. And to have the low number that came out for the budget is not what this country was based on. End of statement.
Superintendent's report.
Yeah, thank you for the nice compliments. I appreciate it. It takes a team of all of us, and we really have a lot to be proud of with our kids. And I'm just so appreciative of the support I think it's important, and I know a lot of our parents appreciate the good things that are happening and what you're doing as well. I just want to say very quickly, you'll be getting this in a memo and update reminders. The moving up ceremony for Bungie Elementary is going to be on a Friday, June 7th, like at 9:30 in the morning. Chatfield is going to be on the traditional day before graduation of the high school. Chatfield is going to be Monday, June the 10th, 1 o'clock, 1:30, so we'll get those times for you. The middle school, of course, is going to be the Tuesday afternoon on June the 11th, and the high school is at 6 o'clock on June the 11th, and then there's the rain date. So we'll get all these dates out to you, and also to other people who come yearly or who give addresses, and also to the first select woman. She always attends. So we'll make sure that everybody gets these dates, and also we'll invite the Board of Select persons back to join us for graduation and all of that. We're bringing closure on the Teacher of the Year. The finalists have been named, and those interviews are going to start. And then a Senior Awards Night, again, is May 23rd on a Thursday. This is always a very special night to honor our outstanding senior awards, and I think there's two that will be in the Alumni Distinguished Hall of Fame. There'll be two people, 2 or 3, that's going to be entered, and they always present that night. And also the distinguished alumnus, that'll be announced in June, and Jay will be taking care of that introduction and all of that, so that's been completed as well. And that announcement will be made in June, not at a board meeting. Last year I messed up and introduced, and I'm sorry.
Next, we have executive session.
Yes, this shouldn't last but 5 minutes. It's just to go into executive session in regards to a tuition student. Just want to make sure that there are no problems. It's just statutory, and that, the student, parents will be paying the tuition. So we'll just make a motion to go in.
Motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion that the board enter executive session to discuss a matter that results in the disclosure of public records. The information contained therein as described in Connecticut General Statute sections 1-210B, 2, 11-17. Further, that the board invite the following individuals to attend the executive session: the student's parent and superintendent Dr. Seymour.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Garofalo. All in favor?
Aye.